That's a funny looking page that you have, you know. What do you say when your date shows up and well and looks funny? So we had that experience often. Now we found that since we do a lot of user testing, that through user tests you can elicit user sentiments that get beyond the first reaction, and so we can have them kind of use talk out loud protocols and things like that to talk about what their needs are and what they value, and therefore validate that there's real value there. But in the end, we had to outsource some visual design. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys talked about the importance of hiring and how hard to find the right people to work in the process, and you also talked us through kind of the timeline of flow up to Series A and then beyond. Could you fill in a couple details about what your team makeup looked like at the steps along those phases? Like how many people and what kind of roles were they in?
Sure. So product concept, there was really no rank and file engineers because we weren't building anything. So there were 4 of us co-founders. There were a few people in ops who could basically pretend to be different components of a prototype, and we would just cobble things together. Then the next phase, which is where we were doing the Wizard of Oz testing and we were actually having those 2 lines cross, we had a few tech leads, senior people able to work on all different parts of the stack. And then we also had consultants filling in the gaps. So over that period, we engaged about 3 full-time consultants and a bunch of part-time people to do little aspects of the system as we got to that automated end-to-end product. At that point, we just raised Series A. We had a good long runway, and we really started to try and ramp hiring. It still took us about 6 to 9 months to get to where we thought we had sufficient engineers, where that wasn't the absolutely horrific bottleneck. Again, mostly senior, pretty self-managing, and able to work on lots of different components, generalist engineers.
And how many at acquisition?
We had 30 people, about 20 engineers, and then a couple other technical people, product people, ops people, and parasites like myself.
Guys, I absolutely loved your presentation. I've probably worked with 20 or 30 different startups in the past year or so on a lot of these concepts, and you guys have exuded this fantastic combination of enthusiasm and passion combined with entrepreneurial skepticism. And that, for me, that really also jumped out of Eric's writings as one of the reasons why I first got very excited about this area, because I don't think it's something that we naturally encourage in entrepreneurs. So my question for you is that something you came to over time? Is that something you looked for when you hired people? Is this something I can teach other people?
Well, they'll get taught it one way or another. That's for sure, skepticism. I'm a professional philosopher as my day job, so one's also indoctrinated that way. But the main thing that gets you there is experience. Both Max and I had startup experiences previously where we'd jumped onto an idea, built it, run with it, and realized it was the wrong idea. In fact, Max, to his credit, had only done that once, and I'd done it several times, and so he's a faster learner than I am. But once you've done that, that's how you learn it. People would have told me the message before. I was an AI guy, and so I'd say, oh, my algorithms are so clever, people are going to come they're going to love it, they're going to come running, Instead, they go running to the hills. There's almost zero chance that your great idea is great as it starts.
And the second piece is sort of hiring other people, and I think you do need a critical mass of individuals who have startup experience and know that this is a sinking ship from day one, and that's why we're going to do lots of things, and we're going to be totally uncompromising about when we abandon one ship and try and get on another leaky boat. And then in terms of the other people that you're with and supporting this kind of iteration and learning, you want people who love the product above all else, and we actually had to turn away a lot of amazing engineers who just weren't that into the product. They love the team, they love the space, they would have been happy to work with us, but they weren't going to use this product. And that's critical so that people don't get mired in the details. They're always after the main goal, which is massive adoption of the vision. And then the second thing is people who are type A but want to be proven wrong. That's sort of very important so that you don't come to loggerheads with who you're working with, and you can just keep being nimble and keep moving from one thing to the next and the next and really enjoy it. And I think that's critical when you hire, to look for those things if you want to adopt this kind of process. I think that's all we have time for.